Alright, yeah. I'm coming. Didn't actually realise that Kaiser was playing today. I said I could do probably A series, wasn't very picky about which one, didn't realise it was this one coming in straight away. But that's okay, we're all good, we're all G. We're all G here. Not a problem. Just checking that they haven't started already. Oh, we've got KC Kempen crew here. Playing a comp stomp, 3v3. Pingu Spectre, my pleasure as always. And all the sevens playing Algiers co-op battle. Very nice. Oh my god, the most painful thing I've had to do so far this weekend was watch Brand try and put an image on a screen. Like, trying to understand the concepts of putting an image on the screen means you have to click the add image button or add the source, and then hit the I want the image button. It was painful. It was so painful, and it explains the Japan player underneath, all that good stuff. Okay, that's all fine. Let's get the chat out, pop that out. I hate being a mod on this channel, so I have to go from one extra click to get the pop out chat. So I can close the Twitch window. God, that tune's a bit boring. Oh, I'll tell you what we could listen to is 4 hours of Sinnoh music. That's some good shit. Is anybody else a massive fan of Insane in the Rain? Like, some really good stuff. I see quite a lot of game music it does. Alright, we'll put that on. To be fair, you could probably put on cast. You can probably have both casters and caster. For me, it was easy. If you have two commands like that, you can just update both at the same time pretty simply. Right, I need to get my DCS scoreboard up. The scoreboard I use is Def Counter. It's called Def Counter and Soundboard. And I use it like that. So Kaiserklein starts with a -2 game handicap against him. He will need to win 5 games or 4 games to defeat Musketeer and move on to the next round. There's a new rule I've just made up on the spot. That would be a bit of fun if that was the case. Matt Paul's Punjab, Parallel Rivers, Florida, as per usual for the round of 32. I've seen a few of these games being cheekily casted elsewhere. A bit of Foquita, a bit of Spanish hombres on YouTube, a bit of Widgie going for some extra casting on his own channel, a bit of everything here and there. Ah, what an intro. What an intro to this song. Ah, yeah. You gotta speak to Revy about that one. I don't have the rights to change any of that settings. I've literally just thrown this on, so it's a bit quick. Oh, they've already started. Musketeer is 925. Have I actually got everything sorted as well? Oh, I need to bring that across, don't I? We'll do that. We'll do that. It's 925. 1950. That would do. God, Musket's name is so big. Jesus Christ. Oh, that looks absolutely wank, doesn't it? Oh, you guys get the idea, don't you? To go down to 1880, I think. That would do. Oh, fuck it. 9. That'll do. Can't be bothered. Mess around with that anymore. Cool, looks like they're in game already, so let's just follow them in. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just leave Discord that side. Right, okay, I think we're good. Have I got everything set up? Yeah, okay, well, let's do it, man. Damn, that's some good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the United Empire's Spring Cup. This is the round of 32, and this is Kaiserklein's opening series of the tournament. He is up against Musketeer 925 as his opponent, but game 1 today will be played on Punjab, with Kaiser playing as the French in the colour blue, spawning to the left of the map. Explorer moving down to the south, looking for that trading post and going for that early trading post as per usual. Actually sees 100 food here. Might go for a cheeky crack shot and then come back to the trading post. See if he adds that little finesse onto it. Do see a bit of scouts on scout action top, fighting for the axe. Crucial map feature of Punjab this is. Musketeer going for a 75 wood treasure. That explorer is far away from Kaiser, so that might allow him to go for that 100 food treasure. And Musketeer, his opponent, spawns to the east of the map in the colour red, playing as the Brits. All happening so far early on in the first, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds of the game, 40 seconds. I know up to about minute 10, but it's been pretty fast paced. Kaiser, I want to say he's doubling around for this treasure, but he's not going for it. He's going back now. Crackshot is at the ready. He knows where that explorer is. He's on the other side of the map, so Crackshot comes in. I'm sure he will be doing his business afterwards of moving back and going for the kite. Interestingly, we see Musketeer going for a delayed trading post here on his side. Let's have a look at him. His deck here picked up 3 villagers, Virginia Company in Age of 1 as potential cards. No Greenwich Mean Time options here for Musketeer, not favouring a new card, or maybe not having enough time to judge how that new card performs in battle. Kaiserklein's scout getting the information on James Chancellor here. Very, very nice. Allowing Kaiser to take this treasure relatively for free. In the sense he doesn't have to worry about micro too much. He can just take his time. Well, he doesn't worry about getting stolen, but he can focus on the micro, take his time, and pick that up for realistically a very lack of HP lost. You know, taking a 2-lion treasure for only losing 50 HP is noticeable and is actually commendable. Going back now for a 50 food in base, I think this is a smart move. 50 food treasures, very underrated. It's a type of treasure that many players just walk past and go, nah, it's not a big treasure, it's a tier 1, let's not worry about it too much. But actually, you know, it's going to help him, and that's a crucial treasure there for Kaiserklein, queuing in his Age 1 at 2 minutes and 36 seconds like a pro. Musketeer not quite up yet. He himself onto 17 villagers, but should be able to age up 17ville quite comfortably. Does have a couple of yaks to help him needs be. So 1 manor house, 1 trading post. Would he go for a Virginia Company in transition? I think that's what the build order suggests. But Kaiser for a very fast, that was a 13 villager. I didn't quite think it was a 12-10, but 13 villagers, no idle time down the town centre, thanks to the 150 food and the treasures, maybe 1 water buffalo as well. Trading post down to south working already. This opening here from the French player, absolutely spot on so far. Very happy to see this. Kaiser working on 2 tigers mid-map. Does see a villager here from Musketeer moving forward, maybe starting to create like a forward line of manor houses for sites, herding in the hunt and just trying to work on his Virginia Company. Boom. Let's check if he is actually going to send this card in behind this. Oh, he is. He's kind of delayed a little bit. Maybe he was unsure what he wanted to do, but that card is coming behind. Kaiserklein taking 80 coin, and there is a 50 coin nearby as well for 1 tiger, which is, in terms of value, what you get it for. The amount of value you get for how little you have to work for it, 50 coin is also very sizable. So the 80 coin, 50 coin, that's basically a full batch of 5 Musketeers there ready for Kaiserklein to start off the game. That is Steel Trap's coin as well. It's certainly very noticeable and very good Age of Empires so far. from the early game here from Kaiser. Dropping down Mangrove Grove in base to try and start this little wall, trying to use these trees up front. Maybe the Mangrove Grove could have been placed out far or behind. I don't really think it really matters where you place this Mangrove Grove. I think he's just consciously trying to protect his forward gold mine, but I think it will be Kaiserklein himself putting on the pressure in this matchup and versus this opponent. Animus is saying, fix title. Somebody go and fix the title, please. It's got nothing to do with me. Spare me the judgment. I am only a humble messenger in this situation. I'm bringing you the messages that Kaiserklein is currently leading. Well, it's not actually. The scores are relatively even, and not much action has happened just yet. Kaiser's going for a second trainer post. Barracks map. Looks like he went TP, house, chopped a little bit for the racks as well. Or maybe he's went racks and TP in the 400 and chopped for steel traps and a house as well to help out. 700 wood behind this, maybe going for Stagecoach. I'm going to work on Musketeer's training post down to the south. I think that's just the honest truth there, Patrick. Like, why FI when you can just be Kaiser and just get the game over and ended as clean as possible, as quick as possible, and as secure as possible. I feel sometimes like an FI, you can open yourself up to maybe a bit of counterplay, especially if your opponent stays H2 and goes full H2. Checking in with Musketeer. 700 wood behind this. Just managing to get the rest of that food wood crates gathered up now. Second rack's being dropped behind. 5 muskets being queued. Another full batch of 5 queue behind it. Villager production momentarily stopped. I think it's just focused on units for the time being. APM for the Brits is quite a challenging thing for the lower to middle player to crack on. I think Musketeer, on a good day, he would be rated around 1600, 1620. I like to think I might be... It's not like I'm not saying I like to think I'm better than him. I don't actually know. I don't think Musketeer is a very active player on the ladder. He plays the games occasionally. And of course, is a dev for ESOC. So when I say dev, I mean he does some coding work here and there for ESOC. He's not a coder for Age of Empires 3 officially. So we give Musketeer lots of love because he's done nothing wrong. Nice scouting here for Musketeer. I'll tell you what I've noticed. These Mangrove Groves, they don't give any kill XP anymore, which I find... I really dislike that change, because now it's just, you just send the grove forward for scouting information. You don't really lose anything by losing the wagon. It's just free, scouting free, something which I feel that everything in this game needs to have like a kind of a pushback, a bit of a risk versus reward. It's like United States Minutemen, call it multiple times, their HP doesn't decrease to below 100 HP or half, and when you kill them, still get no XP from them, especially when they get to upgrade to Marines. There's just no XP return, and it's just like not quite certain that risk and rewards there. Musketeer massing a decent mass of longbows, 10 defensive longbows. Kaiserklein was trying to poke in, but has realised he kind of doesn't want to overcook this one so far. I think he's clocked for Musketeer has gone full-on military defense behind this and kind of not sacrificing his economy, but putting that on the back foot for the time being. Kaiserklein, 25 CDBs, 3 Stagecoach trading posts as well, all on food to try and pump out that Musketeer. Meanwhile, Musketeer himself, the player, on Virginia Company, only 29 villagers, 100 mana pop behind this, but it is consciously producing double racks at the moment. I guess he may want to go 600 wood here to just increase his houses and get those villagers back out, get the XP rolling again continuously, and try and push in. 24 musks. It is tempting to send musk attack here and push Kaiser in H2. I think we saw from Kaiser's macro and his military mass and his Stagecoach trading post control. He's going up to the next stage, and he's gotten there pretty quickly. Up to Exile Prince, looking to hit up about 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Good tempo. Stagecoach on the wood, which is very important. Means he won't have to send 1,000 wood. With this large Musketeer mass, most likely going Falconets, veteran Musketeers, dropping down stable and trying to produce a batch of Cuirassiers as well. Stable ready at the background. I think we might even see Cuirassier first queued here, actually. Just so that he can then get the musk up, and those cuirassiers can hit the field ever so sooner. Back barracks is being used to research the Musketeer upgrade. I don't imagine Musketeer, the player, is actually thinking to that high level. I'd certainly take the forward racks before taking the back racks, but that's actually where the upgrade's being researched, and Kaiser not interested in fighting this until he gets his Falconets and his veteran Musketeers. His CDB, no great coats, no blunderbuss, they can't really be pulled into the action just yet, but now veteran Musketeers severely outclassing Musketeers units, no cards on them whatsoever. I think Musketeers maybe looking to age. Well, when I say looking to age, he's really got a few options here. He's either mass a little bit more and push within the next minute and a half at the very tops. I mean, ideally he should be going in now, or he cuts all military production and ages up. But I don't think either's really going to work out for him, especially the latter, the aging up. It's too slow here for the British player, especially without the GMT behind. Here come the Falconets, veteran Musketeers on the floor here from Kaiserklein. Falc's going a bit overzealous here, a bit exposed. Musketeer moving in on the stagger formation, but with this number of muskets, doesn't really do too much. He's kind of moved in, he's moved back, he's done the hokey cokey. He hasn't really taken too many shots. I'm not too sure Kaiser's lost more than 5 Musketeers here, but Musketeers' army is being decimated by the cannons and the split volley fire here from the Musketeers. Juicy cat volleys, and the game is basically over. Yet the GG, the resignation has come in behind this, and Kaiserklein taking the first game in imperious fashion. Nice and controlled, standard build order, standard AOE3 theory. Love to see it. Yeah, it was. I wasn't quite certain at the end if Kaiser had a Cuirassier in queue or not. The macro suggests he wanted to continue maybe double Musketeer production, but Musketeer Falconet, or should I say veteran Musketeer Falconet versus an Age 2 Brit army of Musk Huss, Musk Heavy, double Musk Longbow. It's just going to be looking good there for the French player. Maybe Kaiser's tempted to add in maybe a batch of 5 Musks, 5 Skirms, send in a couple Skirms afterwards, but his crossbows on top being annoying. He's got the Explorer snaring the villagers and a couple crossbows working on behind because he doesn't want the crossbows in his army. He just wants Musketeers, Falcons working through in that final fight. It was never going to go well for the British player, but even then at the start just wasn't really taking trades when he had units to go, and once he started firing after he moved back out, it was just too little too late at that moment in time. Well, GG. We'll move on to the next game. The next game will be hosted on Parallel Rivers. It's Kloster's game. Hello, Kloster. I got my window open. It's a bit cold. I'm gonna close it. Let's put a hoodie on. Best thing about starting just a couple minutes behind the players is that their game is already up and ready to go. Game number 2 is going to start. Let's do it. How's everyone doing today? Enjoying your weekend? I had a lovely walk through the forest today. Nice sunny weather in England. Beautiful day out. And now tucking in for a bit of Age of Empires afternoon. Brem saying this is Animus' and Eadzad's favourite map. Oh, contentious issue. Contentious issue. Right. Game number 2, Parallel Rivers. We're seeing Kaiserklein take on Musketeer here. Kaiser playing as the Russian civilization spawning to the southeast of the map in the colour blue, with Musketeer playing as the Indians spawning to the southeast map in the colour red. It's just the simple things in life give you the most pleasure, some say. And I gotta say, that crate micro and villager distribution is after the game has gone very, very tantalisingly tasty there to spectate that as a viewer. Russia, opening macro, opening micro, exceptionally important. He's gone for market first. He does need to get the house down to get the next batch of villagers in, but he's got the coin. I think that was a coin treasure, and you just see how Kaiser's kind of brain ticks over that a little bit faster than how I can process this information. Actually, calculating that this is 35 wood. Well, okay, I want to say calculating, it's simple shit, but you know, 35 wood plus 20 in the bank, 50 gold. That's gonna be his hunting dogs, and be a very nice start. But we're on parallel rivers, and I keep harking on about this. Your map analysis, Kaiser's going towards it, but with 2 treasures taken, he's actually given Musketeer time on the map to go out, and he's already got himself 3 there, 3 there. He's already got 6 goats, and actually, I think Musketeer working on a bit of shift clicking issues. Actually, could have taken that treasure a little bit faster, but it's okay. He's actually going to commit to it. It's the wrong idea. That is not the play here, unfortunately, Musketeer. Your explorer is snared. This treasure isn't huge, whoever takes it, but the problem is you've got a pissed off monitor lizard, and now you've got a really angry Russian. Oh! Kaiser goes to the treasure, and Musketeer gets to run away. This is actually as good of an outcome it can be here for Musketeer. Could even delete, go quickly, get the quick delete in. It is tournament player, you might as well. And somehow, the elephant's still standing. Kaiser letting that elephant escape that situation is surprising me. That has surprised me. I would not have allowed that to happen under any circumstance. These elephants are just so annoying. Oh. Fireworks early on, game number 2. Look at this little tight packet of goats over here. Look at you, so cute and furry. Just out the way. Kaiser hasn't seen this, and Musketeer won't be going to that far corner of the map. So no, 50 food being gouged here by Musketeer. Gotta say, it's super annoying to have a name, your player called Musketeer, which, you know, has connotations of one of the units being in the game called Musketeer. So sometimes I'm referring to the unit or the player. It's like, oh, I don't actually know. Bit of a mess. Parallel rivers, hunt down to the southeast, hunt to the north, and a hunt to the northeast position. Mirrored on both sides. So Kaiser has one to the north, one to the west, or southwest, one to the northwest. And these are your hunts available. I would say your southwest is possibly most easily defendable because you can't cross the water on the very southern side of the map. But it looks like the northern one does. It's a little bit closer there for Kaiserklein, so he's going to pull that one in, where Musketeer is looking to be walking towards his southeastern hunt. A really defensive aggro fort. One comment I would say about this aggro placement is I don't believe it's fully covering the town centre, and the town centre is not fully covering the aggro fort. Usually when you're going very defensive like this, have them both on top of each other or overlapping is a very beneficial. Nice spot here for an aggro fort would be quite nice, and you can sort of pull in this northern hunt as well to kind of give you security this way. But down here does secure the gold mine, the hunt, lots of trees, and yeah, it should be fine. This front gold here for Musketeer is a bit of a... It's not going concern just yet, but keep an eye out for. Kaiserklein, forward blockhouse, being aggressive here, crossing the river onto his opponent's side and just going for some standard Russian play. His deck here, going for Distributism as card number 1. Eco Theory, Scouts as well, available to him, but yeah, standard cards there. Opting for Advanced Arsenal instead of Spice Trade in the second age, or... I don't know, as you say that, I see a lot of people, Russian players, having Mongolian Scourge. Or is that the Chinese card? I think it's a Chinese card. Yeah, there's nothing else you'd really want to send here in H2. Maybe the mill card? Question mark for when the hunts run out. But on a map like this, actually, there's loads of hunts available. And Russia's taking map control, so you certainly wouldn't want that. Eco Theory is always tempting. I do like Spice Trade as a later card. I think if you go Spice Trade early as Russia, you just lack the tempo, lack the crates, lack the momentum, which you can really build upon and gives your opponent that valuable time. That time where Animus nearly defeated Izad, with Izad going into Spice Trade, buying Animus that time to kind of regroup and push back out with a very lovely Sepoy Tiger Claw timing. Double blockhouse forward here. Okay, so sorry, 10, 20, 30 pop. Okay, so it's a standard 400 wood politician ager, or might have been, yeah, it was a wood. I think it was wood, yeah. 250 for the blockhouse, got steel traps and a bit of wood left over. I was just wondering, you might have gone logistician, to be honest, here. Kaiserklein, if you age logistician, these 2 blockhouses, I think they would give 15 population as well, and you get the blockhouse wagons. You get to the 2 blockhouses, but then your population will be like 50, 60. It's a pretty decent age up, but it probably does force the Russian player to age up with 17 villas first, so that is a consideration. Kaiserklein currently sitting at 20 villagers. He's not stopping his villager production. I think he's going for an I Am Turk build. Yeah, 700 gold into 5 Cossacks. So the idea is you send the gold, you double pump Musketeers, all your villagers on food, nobody's on gold whatsoever. You're making the best use of your villagers by gathering the fastest resource with the most upgrades, sending your slowest resources by the crates, that is your gold crates, and timing it with a 5 Cossack, 4 Cossack shipment. This batch of XP will give another shipment. That's going to be 4 Cossacks now. 4 Cossacks in queue. Could be 13 Strelets, actually. I think 13 Strelets here may have... Well, population is an issue here, so yeah, it's going to be the 4 Cossacks. You've got another space for another batch of Musketeers, and then probably saving it for another batch of villagers. And once this 4 Cossack hits the floor, off you go and into the opponent's base, and we'll see how Russia beats Russia. Musketeer going for a forward raid. Does he double blockhouse? Some Cossacks and a lot of Musketeers. He needs to be thinking of backing up into his town centre and preparing defensive actions. Loving the mixture of Gurkha, Sepoy, not going over committing on the Sepoys here. Needs to keep enough resources for double Minutemen. Very, very nice. His cards. Oh, he's gone. So he's gone probably foreign logging into 4 Sours. Does have 5 Sepoys available behind this. Probably will need 5 Sepoys straight away. Villagers exposed in the front lines. Explorer's going to move into tank. Quite a bit of damage. I think Musketeer really wants to pull back. Agrifort not yet in action. This army is out of range. The Agrifort is not in range of the army. And Musketeer's getting some nice pickoffs. Gurkha's not being pulled back out of the range of Musketeers. Musketeers trading very well here from Russia. And this so far has been going quite well here from Kaiserklein's point of view. Double Minutemen being called. Sepoys working behind. Cossacks on top of the Camels. Camels very bad in cavalry on cavalry fight. And the Musketeers, they're just trading very well in terms of cost value. And you can just see it in the score difference. Kaiserklein taking a solid advantage so far in game number 2. Sepoy being trained, 5 Sepoys being shipped here from Musketeer. The problem is, it might be enough to kill the army, but it's certainly not enough to break a double blockhouse position here from Kaiser. And on his side, oh, yeah, I think his side, what's going on here, Kaiser? You're housed, you've floating 1,000 food. You are sending in the Strelets, but I think the housing's causing a bit of an issue here. You can only get 1 batch of Musketeers and 1 Strelet. He might actually... If I was him, I'd actually probably press delete onto these units just so you can queue another batch of Musks. Oh, no, there's a house being built there in kind of an emergency housing. So, yeah, you should get the next batch being trained. Agrifort now working behind us. Okay, Consulate coming out here from Musketeer. Can he get himself to the Ottoman Consulate to call in the Ottoman Minutemen, maybe? Yeah, well, he needs Ottoman Minutemen because he won't afford British Musketeers. I was going Brit. Without the Consulate card, he will not be able to afford the British Consulate Musketeers, and that's more units not on the field here for India when he needs it the most. Muskets trading versus Sepoys up close. Only a couple Gurkhas now. The Gurkhas were in that front line, that first fight. Oh, a batch of Gurkhas from the Agrifort being caught by the Cossacks and some villagers a little bit away. But Kaiserklein not going over committal here. Doesn't force the issue too much. I think he's happy containing, and this is Russia's game plan. It's contain, it's trade. It's not necessarily bust down the front door or guns blazing. It's being smart, methodical, and choking your opponent of resources and momentum is the playstyle that Kaiser's going for here. 600 gold coming behind this, and okay, it's not enough hunts to kind of switch all gold onto food, but the process of just spamming Musketeers again from full food can be a possibility, but the 600 gold and that huge amount of food he did have, it doesn't surprise me to see that he's planning for an age up here. Kaiser loves going to the 3rd age. training researching veteran musketeers, sending in the 2 falconets, and probably going to get the game sealed in that capacity. Unless India can pull something out of the bag, of course, you know, always believe, keep believing, tournament game and all that. Cossack raid going north. He's trying to look for the hunt behind this river. But that's already been herded in. However, Musketeer still got a couple of vills quite far from the town centre. So 1 vill here likely to go down. Unless another couple injured. Bit of a slow reaction here. So 2 vills likely to go down here. I think Kaiser will commit for the 2nd villager. He will just back off now. And yeah, nice trade there. Kaiser very happy with that. He knows exactly where the Indian army is. The Indian army is not pushing the blockhouse. And Kaiser able to get that age up completed. Should be there, 5 seconds yet. Up now. Shipment ready to go. Just about. He's actually timed that really, really well. I'm not going to say that was skill. I'm going to say more luck. But it's actually a really nice timing to get the 2 falcons in queue now. Vet Musk's been researched. And he really... Well, I'm going to say he really wants another musketeer being trained. But he's got 50 muskets just stood here just chilling. Yeah, look at these guys. They're relaxing. They're just chilling in the water because they've done enough walking as it is. Their feet are quite hot. And new outfits, everybody. Very, very nice. God, look at the size of those bayonets. They're chunky, very chunky. What does Kaiser see? This dead explorer, a couple of vills, no great coats. British consulate. I think he's already saw the Brit consulate, hasn't he? Not quite yet, but if you click on the vills, you'd see Brit consulate from the villager HP. Falk's going first, but I think he realizes he wants the musks ahead. And Kaiserklein's point of view at the moment. See sepoys. Falk's going to unpack, and that's a dense amount of infantry, and that's a good volley. I'm seeing sentries flying everywhere. Musketeers moving to cover, and actually good cover protection. Falconet's going to be individually microed onto the Gurkhas. I think that's what their targets are. A couple of villagers here tanking as well, just to absorb anything, really. Take the sting out of this attack, but it's going to be too much. Those couple of raided Cossacks gone back into the northern hunt for another raid. And Musketeers' time in this tournament, I fear, is coming to a very quick end. 600 wood being sent to the Agra forward, unable to be collected. Gurkha stagger mode, but unfortunately with non-staggered infantry. Oh, look at that volley. Oh, I saw 5 units flying there and another 5 being injured. That was volley of the day, it has to be. And yeah, if you're staggering units, you have to stagger everybody in the same selection group, otherwise your units do not stagger. And Musketeer taking a beating here, and Kaiser just business as usual. It's a shame. This is a shame here for Musketeer, but you kind of have to take one for the team when you get paired up versus Kaiserklein in the first round. I mean, just imagine for a tournament out of good faith to have some good fun games, hoping to get maybe like a Pastia and Animus, and then you get paired against this big boy, and you're like, well, do I even practice for this? Probably don't need to practice for this because it's not going to change the outcome. And that outcome there is a win for Kaiserklein, taking the series 2-0, and the series will not be going on to Florida. It's going to end here. Now you know what I mean. If a 1400 Edo, I'm gonna say Musketeer is 1500 Edo, might be 1600. I don't quite remember. Please forgive me, Musketeer. You would like to test yourself versus a 1700 player, and then maybe test yourself versus a 1900, and then maybe take on Kaiser later on. But getting Kaiser in the first round, it's like, damn, should I even practice? Like, what is the point of practicing? Because you're just going to get absolutely rolled, and the rolled he did, but he rolled over in a very stylish way. Fun games, fun times. I enjoyed that, as I always do, and yeah, 2-0 for this series. Goat's still alive though. They didn't get targeted by the cannonballs. Unfortunately, these guys were, yeah, not on a good time. Well, let's have a quick look at the post game. It's a really nice build order. So if anybody really wants to kind of air marks lame on the ladder, this is a simple build order yet highly effective. 700 gold into 5 Cossacks. Second blockhouse to defend. any cheeky early aggression from your opponents, bit of housing, a bit of steel traps behind, and just spamming the Musketeers, sending 5 Cossack, 4 Cossack out of 100 gold, and playing on from that position, which is a very strong position. A favourite of I Am Turk. Musketeer, decent villager progression here, keeping up the Russia, or should I say Russia's catching up with India, but once the pressure starts, villagers get picked off, and then the eco is somewhat curtailed there from Musketeer. And yeah, the writing was on the wall for about the last 5 minutes, I would say. Right, see you later. Easy peasy. It was 1350. I said you're 1600. Well, lol. Okay, I said around 15, 16. I don't quite know, but just imagine signing up for the tournament in good faith and then getting Kaiser first round. Like, ooh. Oh well. Shit. What are we doing now? Are we going back to Kevin's stream, or? I guess I could do another series. Any live series going? I guess I could do Rex, but you know me, I hate Rex. I'll do one more series. Revy, pick a series. What shall I do? MMFD saying, "Oh, the game's going to be uploaded." Probably. Maybe the admin guys on United Empires saying they can do uploading to YouTube. Probably. It's a lot. Okay, I will say it's a lot of admin work to get all the stuff done from the lower round. So maybe they might just sit on their laurels for the first week, and then maybe start uploading from the round of 8, round 16. You know what I mean? Like, you can't upload every single game. Well, I suppose you could, but it's just a bit of a hassle in those places. Oh, the recorded games. No, but do you want me to send you that recorded games? Speak to Revnak. Revnak will sort you out on that one. Oh wait, no, that recorded games. They should be saying the recorded games, but I do have a recorded game. Oh, he's posted it. Okay, so it is available. Yeah, send MMFD his recorded game, you peasant Revy. I'm sorry, Animus. It technically was a 1310 actually. That's it. It wasn't a 1210. It's a 1310. But that actually H1's really nice. Worked out really well having 100 food treasure right next to that trading post. Can't disagree with that one. Alright, yeah, see, I don't know, I want to know, I want to find out what's the best series, what's the most competitive series out here, like, is Breeze Frog me like the best game? Who's Camo K? What seed is he? Oh, yeah. I know what we can do. It turns out that Mitoe ranked 21 in the bracket. His first opponent was the only Bauss, so I think we can pay Mitoe and only Bauss a visit. How about that one? Mitoe only Bauss or Breeze versus Fra? Have a vote in the chat. Do you want to see Breeze taking on Fra or Bauss smashing Mitoe? Brem saying Mitoe, Revy saying Mitoe, Ola saying Mitoe. Go on then, we'll do that. Let's put in some lo-fi. I'll tell you what I've noticed. There are... Just an observation. I think there are some people in the community who obviously enjoy consuming content or watching content. There are some people who enjoy making content. And there are some people who enjoy both making some content and consuming some content in that situation. But there are some people who, also on the kind of the content creation side, I rarely see them in streams and chats. I just like... It feels like the only time I do see them is actually when they're streaming themselves, which is great to see. Just sometimes it's like they come in like a chat and they go, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Oh my god, he's alive!" Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. The game's downloaded. Oh yeah, the download. Okay, cool. New folder. Spin the old games. Oh. Sorry, Izard Animus, your series was fun, but you're now going to the folder labelled old games. Oh dear. Cool. What is this with this? I named this a spring to hopefully be at the right at the top of the pile. I have no idea how this filtering works because these are not filtered on by names. Whatever. Alright, minimize that. Bom 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 bom. I didn't even know Mitoe and Bauss are still playing. They pop in for the quick tourney win, fuck off with the prize money. Well, Mitoe is certainly driven by wanting to prove to himself that he can be the best and beat the best, and he really strives to reach that high goal. But I don't understand because he just hasn't played any other Age of Empires in ages, apart from Age of Empires 4 and his work, his paid employment with Microsoft for Age of Empires as well. But you don't really see him kind of whacking on a few casual games on the side. He gave Kaiserklein a bit of a scare in that last tournament with his Ethiopians and Mexicans. Just a bit of unfamiliarity there, and making use of some of the more intricate features of those series to his advantage. Kevin versus Sheckler, highest ranked 32. Yeah, Sheckler, Daddy Sheckler, what a great player he is. Always got time to watch his Dutch play. Always got time for that. He's like one of those players who understands the Dutch civilization, not those people who pick Dutch thinking they're going to get the wins and just get dubbed over and over again. Sweet. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, no, we're not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Well, not yet. I will do it. Have patience, young Padawan. Have patience. I need to change this player's score. Probably, yeah, I think I need to center align the text. That might make it a bit easier, and then have the scores. Oh, I'll change that for another time. That's a good idea. Don't have to worry about this. Fucking only on the column only Bauss today. Can't be able to add the only Bauss in there as well. Jesus Christ, what is up with my scoreboard? It's absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. That would do, and then we'll push the other one over a little bit more. That will do. Cool. Minimize that. Okay, the score before this series starts, 0-0. Let's crack on. Oh, I've missed it again. Where the hell? Oh, there it is. I think we're good. Well, they've got to play on the Azanc. You can't. So with the Azanc overlay, you have to apply it after. No, you have to be on the AI map. No, okay. When you're playing the game, you have to have the mod installed, and it is. Yeah. Okay, it is good. If it was updated and people played it. Obviously, I would cast with it and utilize its features. However, maybe it's either I've got to the point of being experienced enough to kind of know what's going on in the games, or the actual intricate details of what's going on. Maybe is not. I'm not that desperate to know about. I don't feel that for me having the A's mod really helps me substantially what's going on. I have a decent way of tracking how the game's going, but yeah, maybe speak to Rev. I'm not even too sure if it's been updated, because when Mexico came out, it broke a lot of stuff within it, and the new set's coming out soon, and that will break it again. So I'm not too, because it's it's kind of developed on the fly, not critically developed by official devs. It's kind of making do with a custom hack for it. I don't know. It's nowhere near as good as the EP one, because the tools available and restrictions make it a little bit harder, because the whole base game has changed. But that's beside the point. Welcome to the round of 32 of the United Empire's Spring Cup. This is the first series of Mitoe's challenge to the title, and his first round opponent is the only Bauss. Pretty tough opponent. Experienced, been there, done that. Very solid, and expecting a very good series here. Only Bauss here, spawning to the west of the map in the colour blue, playing as the French on the map Punjab. Going for the early trading posts, looking to age up probably 13 villagers. Just have the CDBs ready to go, send them in. 75 wood treasure here, very, very nice. Couldn't quite incorporate this 75 wood treasure into his build. He's already got that house built. Maybe could have focused that before the trading post and saved all that shopping for that house. Could be very nice. Mitoe, on the other hand, spawning into the east side of the map, playing as his favourite Civ, the Chinese, playing as his favourite colour. Playing as his favourite colour? Cyan. He always plays as cyan. And then you have people some people who have individually mapped their own colours to cyan, like they've mapped dark blue to cyan. So I've had games, or I've watched people cast games where it's like cyan versus cyan, and no one's got an idea what's going on. It's actually quite funny. Oh well. Triple village start here for Mitoe, going for the Mitoe build, as well. He is Mitoe, so he's going to show us how it's done. 3 villages in age 1 does suggest age 2 focused play. Now, obviously, you just do 3 villages, get the 4 villager card, and still go to the 3rd age behind this. This will slow Mitoe's age 1 down a bit. That extra village may incentivize him to go for tea leaves as well as a secondary card. But with a map with goats, water buffaloes, and he's taken a few decent food treasures. I think both players have got some food. There's 55 for Mitoe, 50 food for Bauss. A bit of coin, irrelevant. A lot of spamming. Can people not spam the villager button in an official game? Because I need to see what treasures they picked up. Dacoit Fuggies, Manchu Fusiliers. Well, I actually can see that these days. I can see that these days actually on the UI. Let's get out of that. So if I was Bauss, villager. Oh no, I can't. Okay, that makes sense. I can't remember what the saloon mercs were. I don't think we'll see them in play here. Mitoe aging up with the Sun Pass with 1 villager in onto this wander, and this to me signifies he is doing the Mitoe FF behind this, which for you guys who do not do or do, oh, what is he chopping wood? Ah, that's thrown that completely off the rails. Unless he's trying to get a trading post and then still plow on as normal. So one of the builds Mitoe did before this 3 village opening came out really was age up to the Sun of Pass, second age with the Sun of Pass, but only put 1 villager on it, and once you've aged, send in 700 wood. So that way you don't go 700 gold, 700 wood, you just go 700 wood. But the extra res you manually gather from your villagers on the gold mine and hunt, instead of working at the Summer Palace, kind of allows you to have a decent age up. It is slower, but if you do get up undisturbed and manage to succeed, it's actually really strong. Mitoe walking around 100 food treasure. He knows that Bauss is nearby as well. The thing with Bauss is Explorer with a crack shot, so he can walk in and pick it up very, very quickly. Unfortunately, Mitoe kind of has to try and find an opportunity. Oh, look at this, there's 100 food here, 100 food here, as well as a tiger treasure. The tigers are really, really bad as a pet. I think Mitoe might say to his opponent, okay, Bauss, you go for your 100 food treasure, I'll go for mine. Let's be civilized gentlemen on this one, and let's share the spoils of this region and have a good game afterwards. Scouting with the Grove Rickshaw, very nice. Does see the defensive stable here from Bauss, looking to go for the stable. 2 houses, 5 Huss semi here, maybe 10 Huss actually. Sometimes I find it just really annoying to deal with many hussars as the Chinese. You kind of are limited in how you defend it. Mitoe going for the very early 9 Chang pikemen here, dropping down a War Academy. So he hasn't gone for the tea leaves build because he didn't have the trading post to help this tea leaves. So there's no early consulate, no early Russian blockhouse. He has to make the War Academy himself, but investing that shipment into 9 Chang pikemen instead. But doesn't have the trading post to kind of increase this spam. He clicks up the food crates. Is he going to go back to the German consulate behind this? Still says to me, but he's... Well, yeah, I mean, this has got H2 written all over it. Chang pikemen as step riders. Mitoe loves just sending military shipment after military shipment on these 3 villages. Just has always population space to work with up to 70, and if he wants to, increase his population, he can just... Well, I guess he just build another village for another 20. It solves that problem. 3 being left behind. 6 going to go out looking for these hussars or siege a trading post. Not too sure he saw those actually, but he will find them now. 5 hussars and 3 pikemen. Actually, nice pick up here for Bauss if he wants to commit. Nope, he just wants to back out there, and I think he just wants to try and be annoying. But yes, he's identified that 3 pikes on is actually quite vulnerable. He's just going to go for this. Bit of micro here. Let's have a look how he does. Yeah, he's pulling back, not losing a single huss there. Very nicely played there by Bauss. Really enjoyed that one. Steps come out from the village though, so they will probably catch him with a snare. I want to see Bauss's response. Is he looking to age up behind this? He is. He's got the food required. He's got the gold. He's gathered up. And this is a, 4 CDB into 700 gold. This is a bit of a fast age up. I think now that he's seen the step rise, he might be a bit like, oh, hang on, how do I do this? Bauss needs to be a bit not patient, not calm. He just needs to remember that Minutemen hard counter the step riders. These units here have the siege tag, so Minutemen in melee destroy step riders, absolutely destroy them. Minutemen having the same attack in melee as they do in range over time. Melees go off twice as fast, and step riders with 30% range resist. Grove Rickshaw being pulled in by Mitoe to soak up extra HP. There's no XP bounty in this one, so you can just dive it in there to tank. 3 town centre fire, you might as well. It's just 3 HP, and it's quite silly to see that on this map, but it is what it is. Hussar's going in for a counter raid though. All these villages though, I'm not really too sure. Mitoe should be losing a single villager. There's a couple exposed, but Minutemen do get caught. He might have to pull all of them back. I think more important is actually the problem that Bauss has. He's just lost his production, and he's aging up fast. He does have a shipment. Paraffin, DE Paraffin. Oh, get into the town centre. He can't get into the town. He's pulling, he's doing what he can. 1 CB goes down, 2 CB goes down. And I think Bauss is tilted off his mind as a result of that. Looking at the market, does he have... Oh, he has great coats. I think he has blunderbuss as well. Yeah, he's got blunderbuss. He's just going to take these shots. I think he's trading town centre shots with CDB, but I think he just needs to stand up and just let a couple of CDBs go into melee and just tank this. Or at least have 10 in the town centre and the rest out fighting. Where those hussars go? Did they get cleaned up? Okay, 3 managed to escape. The explorers taking a wood treasure, but that's been put on the back burner for the time being. Dragoons being called early behind this. We see that the CDBs are working on the bow units so that the Dragoons can put in some decent work behind this. Blunderbuss CDBs are really good. I like using blunderbuss on them, especially versus Russia, where 11 CDBs one-shot kill a Musketeer from 16 range when a Musk only has 12 range. It's quite funny. It's a nice defensive way to play the game. Guard is saying this is all in by Mitoe. I wouldn't say so. He's got the he's gone for the German concept behind this. He hasn't got a trickle yet, but he can go for a trickle behind this. Decent economy, 29 villagers. Because he's been gathering quite a bit of wood, he's still got lots of hunt in his base available, and yeah, it's the classic send in your unit shipments, and once you're ready to pull the trigger, go up to the next stage, you just send in the gold, and you're absolutely fine. Bauss, he's in the next stage, but he's got realistically, he's got 0 momentum. He's got, you know, shipments. He's having to send in 1,000 wood just to restabilize his position, and that's going to give time for Mitoe to go up to the next age. And chances are, age up with the porcelain tower. He's not under direct threat as of yet, and that'd be a very good age up there for the Chinese player. Yeah, Robot articulates that point in the chat very nicely as well. Okay, looking at his villagers, looks... Oh, this is going to be hard to try and guess what text he's got there. Is this just no tech? No tech. Oh, Mitoe's got a market, but no text whatsoever for any of his villagers. No civil servants, no hunting eagles or professional hunters. Any tech here would be quite nice. It's just the market's there as just an automatic reaction of, oh, we've got some wood, drop the market, and there's the first tech, hunting eagles into placer mines. Not placer mines, blanket filters? Yeah, blanket filters. Buffaloes have been eaten here. A lot of food in them, 600 at the moment, so you should be able to harvest about 500 from it, and that helped him get some early batches out. Amalgamation, oh no, Bauss, I don't think that is what you'd really want at this moment in time. Doesn't really have enough resources for Jaegers, but doesn't have Jaegers in the deck. Has 5 and 4 goons here. What's the other card in the third age which French usually have instead of 4 goons? Maybe it's refrigeration? Oh, yeah, it could be Jaegers, could be the fort, especially when forts can train cannons, but in this matchup, yeah, you probably would not want a fort for the cannons point of view with the Chinese super cav, or anti-artillery cav that they have. Porcelain Tower being thrown down behind. How many villagers Mitoe got on this one? 8 villagers, up fast. Going arquebusiers first. You know, I was going to say about say. He has enough step riders, enough pikes. I think it's assuming that he's got to get some sort of skirm mass going, as Bauss likely to be sending in 8 skirms, trained skirms. He's already got the goons out, which has been scouted out by Mitoe, so he does know. Mitoe does know that he does need some sort of skirms on the field. He sets his oh, he's training a cav batch. Yeah, train cav sends in skirms here. Second trickle here, distributism coming in behind us. I think he's got the food and the wood now. I was going to save about 80 food on his cav batch, or maybe a little bit less from the recent nerf on the German consulate. Is that discipline steps? That's discipline steps coming in here for Mitoe. He does have some 9 step rise, but they were going so quickly to the Dragoons, it might not actually be worth investing into it. I'm just looking at his food count. He's got 1,000. This is one of those situations where the Beiyang army is just such a great card here for China. Doesn't have it in his deck. He has Sager Hunt instead of Beiyang army. A lot of Chinese cards, you just kind of don't really know how you want to play them, how you want to organise your rack of cards. But Bauss here, nice timing. Well, not timing, but nice aggression. 17 skirms. That's 2 batches of 10 plus the 8 skirm shipment. Some goons holding out. But the discipline steps with a batch of heavy cavalry as well from the Meteor Hammers and the Iron Flails coming out behind. Mitoe now another shipment ready to go. Likely to be sending in cavalry now because he knows he can focus down the goons in this engagement. Skirmishers will take what they can get. And yes, Iron Flails on the skirmishers getting great splash damage here. No melee infantry here from the French player to kind of form a blocking line. No hussars, no cuirassiers. And skirm goon versus Chinese heavy cavalry is always risky because something is going to get touched and something is going to get deleted as a result. Skirm mass goes down, and the Dragoons still stand. This allows Bauss to kind of pivot into maybe like a cuirassier goon composition. Don't really see how remassing the skirms here is going to help. 1,200 gold in the bank account, that's a lot. Hunt looking really low, needs to start moving out to other places. Ding Ding's been called in the base. That's one villager going down. It's a little sneaky, cheeky little raid there from Bauss. But losing 2 hussars for 1 villager is probably not ideal. I think he's just going to try and find. But he does get the scouting information of the Changdaos. That's critical. That is critical. So Mitoe will need probably a batch of 5 skirms. But yeah, he's got 5 skirms. But you can really see he's wanting to now focus on the Cuirassiers. Second stable behind this as well. So going to double down on double cav here. Cuirassier and Goon with maybe a couple of supplementary skirms with it. Surprise, the Chinese player now, Mitoe, has a 3-unit composition of ranged infantry, hand infantry, and cavalry. The cavalry's pretty jacked. I mean, there's no upgrades on it. It is just heavy cavalry, but they're splitting off. Hussar sees it, and the rest of the army here is actually away from this heavy cavalry. This is go time here for Bauss. He's backing off, but he does have a lot of Cuirassiers. This is his opportunity to go if he wants to do it. And I think he doesn't know if he wants to because he needs to secure the hunts, and that's where he's pivoting down, and that's where the cavalry is waiting here for Mitoe to basically eat up these CDB, and the dragoons are moving in, and they've been called to action. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot there. That's a lot there. And the splash damage here from the flails working through the CDBs. 2, 3 going down there before having to be pushed away there by the dragoons. No, iron flails are like mams. You know, they have high HP. High HP. 350 as a base. Mitoe Hammer's only having 260 base. So when you send the spider cav or the double-faced armor cav, the effective range HP of the iron flail is so much higher. You get so much more from that card on the flails than you do on the Mitoe Hammers. But I do understand your point. It is just such a great card, that is. Bauss suggesting GG. Will he drop in that resign? Those CDBs are going forward. Is this going to be a little bit of a do or die final push? The awkward thing is, like, when you're pushing CDBs, you actually want to take that fight now and just want to trade them off as much as you can. But Mitoe's army is just nowhere to be seen. He's gone to the northern side of the map. He's going for another town centre on the top side being built by the Chinese villagers. He's just kind of taking nice and slow and steady, being methodical, and probably being the reverse of what a Kaiser would do, where Kaiser was very clinical, pressing, getting the job done ASAP. Mitoe is just wanting to secure this the best way he can, and letting Bauss come to him. The CDBs are still walking all this time. They're not gathering, and yeah, Bauss wants this game to be over just to move on to the next one. But Mitoe is letting him essentially bleed out. It's like absolutely blocking Bauss. Is like Bauss is saying, "Please take the fight," and Mitoe's like, "Nah, not yet." A lot of Cuirassiers here though. Not really enough anti-cavalry, enough skirms here to work away onto it, and the anti-cav groups up for the splash damage for the Cuirassiers to work decent magic. You know what, a lot of Cuirassiers are really destroying Mitoe here behind us. He's got a couple of goons to work for the cavalry of the Chinese player, but I think Mitoe's just got enough. These CDB as well, they've been fighting from range. They really need to be up there in melee, just absolutely tanking what they can. Couple Cuirassiers still standing, and as a fight, well, it's not. I suppose it hasn't really been won here by Bauss, and it was helped out by the villagers. But because the CDB are fighting, there will be no reinforcements here for Bauss, and yeah, Mitoe is going to certainly draw the fight but win the war in the long term. It seems the score looking very good in Mitoe's favour. Intervention being called. Is he on the German consulate still? He might. No, he's on Brit consulate now. The flag's gone, but he's on the British consulate. Musketeers will pop out from this village when that shipment does arrive. He's still training infantry batches. There's Minutemen being called different places, but Musketeers will pop out. I love how the villagers are here, just baiting the skirms to stay here. He's like, please stay here. Out come the Musks. And yeah, Skirm gets picked off for that one, and Mitoe will chase down the remaining. Cav gets produced. Score's somewhat closing, is it? Is it possibly? Is there a possible counterplay here? Bauss has got a 7 Skirm shipment in the berries, just chilling out with the male CDBs, just like, hey boys, how you doing? Ah, not bad, brother. Just picking up some berries for Napoleon. But yeah, 5 Cuirassiers front line, couple Skirms here. I'll essentially be calling all my skirms with the select all hotkey. I think Bauss has just seen, he's like, oh, How long have they been sat there? You always ask yourself that question when you see units in reserve. And it's changed shipment. Can't remember what he was sending there, but he's going to call in the Falconets now. 22 CDBs here for Bauss. Mitoe on 42 villagers, plus the Porcelain Tower and the Summer Palace. So Mitoe just needs to hold on, and he'll be absolutely fine. Right on the coin mine. If Bauss was looking for a GG moment, this is a GG moment, but he is sending the Falconets, and you can... Oh, the army's way out position. That's 6 vills going down for no return there. Bauss now down to going to be 17. Let's go back to 18 with the vill being traded. Another batch of Cuirassiers coming out. These are cav combat Cuirassiers, so they are packing a punch. 573 HP, 33 attack. Very, very nice. Villagers, there's a lot of villagers here. So there's potential for these to go down, but the village is nearby to receive these villagers. The Cuirassiers coming in. The Falcons are alive. If Bauss hadn't lost those villagers on the gold mine, I would argue that it's still possible, but here can the Manchu, and Mitoe is just secure in this one, it seems. That's the perfect shipment to have at this moment to work on the Cuirassiers. If anything, he's just letting the Falconets do the work because he knows once the Cuirassiers go down, the game's pretty much up. But he doesn't want to dive in with the Manchu onto the Cuirassiers. Ideally, he wants the Meteor Hammers to kill the Falconets, but the Cuirassiers is probably the biggest threat to Mitoe's game at the moment. And this massive heavy cavalry is going down. Oh, Disciples being trained, and they're going to go onto the thing. And reinforcing batch of cav onto the skirms. Oh, GG, GG, GG. And the game's been caught there. And Mitoe winning the first game, 1-0. Another good game that was. Enjoyed that one. Mitoe really enjoys going age 2 with the Chinese. It's very interesting. So you see the Chinese being played so many different ways at the moment. Now, I'm going to quote, not everybody is a Chinese player, but for example, the times that Kaiser has played China, it likes to go double village, maybe trading post in transition, Northern Refugees, 700 gold, 700 wood, play standard from there. Mitoe loves to go 3 villages in age 1, go age 2, and kind of see how the games are going, whether he wants to stay age 2 or go for the age 3 on the 700 gold. German Consulate, War Academy. You see some players now going TP opening 1 village, Consulate, Northern Refugees into T-Lead shipments, mid-map Russian blockhouse aggro with the forward barracks outpost shipment point and that good stuff. There's lots of options how China can play, and yeah, they've decent options, decent ways of playing. And of course, you know, the classic China, just FI, Northern Refugees, 700 gold, maybe skip the 700 wood, 1000 gold, get to the industrial and just spam those H4 units. So lots of options on the table here. Mitoe preferring his option of the colonial play. That colonial play really actually hurting Bauss. He had a nice time in Bauss. Went 5 Huss, fast age, which at the lower lads it seems to be a very strong strategy, because you just, maybe when you're the defensive player in the situation like the Chinese player, thinking, okay, I've just managed to deal with the 5 Huss, and you see your opponents in the fortress station and thinking, wow, how did he get that fast? And that's because Bauss went for the 4 CDB into 700 gold as second card in age 2 instead of going 4 CDB 700 with 700 gold. More of a standard semi-FF build order behind that. And yeah, Bauss struggled with the early pressure, but great coach Blunderbuss helped him with that. And actually the game got a lot closer than it first appeared. Bauss calling GG about 5 minutes before the game was over, because he just felt he was behind, but never count out Cuirassiers on Chinese units with not much anti-cav support. Was actually really engaging towards that middle part of the game. Villager population, you see that the final fight, the CDB, was kind of what he needed, or maybe this is the fight of the CDB, but this is the CDBs on the gold mine just getting nuked. It was either one of these. I think, yeah, this might be, yeah, this was the fight with the CDBs. This is the CDBs on the gold mine getting cleaned to about 18. That was pretty brutal. Right, cool. Good game. Let's move on to the next one. Yeah, I mean, he did deal with it decently. He had Minutemen support, a bit of Villager micro with focusing down the Chuko news. So when the Dragoons came out, managed to push the offensive back because he had answers to the pikemen and the steps. Yeah, just some good stuff there. Right, we're into game number 2 on Parallel Rivers. We see Mitoe playing as the Mexican civilization, Bauss playing as the Russians. Mitoe is the Mexican Supremo himself. I believe he did a lot of balancing and testing work when this Civ was in development, so his understanding of the Civ is far greater than essentially most other players. However, listening to early Mitoe streams, or streams maybe with Kevin and Mitoe on the mic or with other players, very evident for me, Mitoe sees Mexicans and how they're played very differently to, let's say, a player like LionHeart, for example. Different takes. And I think we'll see a bit more of traditional Age 2, maybe semi-FF play, but not. I don't see Mitoe going through the revolts route here in this game, especially versus Russia. Honestly, Pike Chinarcos or Chinarco Salteador looking very strong. There's a Chinarco card in Age 3, give you a cav for every shipment sent so far. It's insane. If you take a few trades here and there, and the game prolongs a little bit, you can end up having like a 10, 11, 12 Husk card in Age 3. It's absolutely bonkers. And I think it's bonkers in a bad way for the game, but these growth cards, I like to call them, has been in since the United States, and I feel and I fear that they're in for the long haul. Loads of cards have them now for Mexico, for the Africans, the United States, and just imagine if like the Dutch had a Reuter card, send 2 Reuters for every card you sent so far. You end up like clicking a button which gives you a 20 Reuter shipment Age 2. That's the equivalent where we're at. Hacienda coming in here for Mitoe. Hacienda 2 Vils, one of the greatest Age 1 cards there is. A building which costs 600 wood, so the amount of XP you get from that is insane. It's a forward shipment point, it's a forward eco point. I still don't understand how Hacienda has a military shipment point on it. It feels that the design of that building unit is very confused, and one of my greatest criticisms of this Civ is that to balance the eco around a 600 wood building is just wrong. He's going defensive here. That's interesting. I've always seen Mitoe as a kind of mid-map offensive Hacienda, maybe getting the shipment point, but I suppose versus Russia you do have to kind of play a little bit smarter. Russia's usually one going on the offensive here. We see Bauss here actually eating his sheep in Age 1, going for a 14 Vil, but he wouldn't mark it as well. Is market Age 1 play here for Russia really the way to go? I think the fact that he's having sheep is kind of helping him out of this little situation. He's going to age up at a respectable time. Market will give him extra resources in transition. I'm not going to deny that at all. Clicking up here at 257. Brem just played against Imperial Soldado. 630 HP, 89 range attack. Lol. But the thing about the Soldados is that they are designed to be double musketeers, so you got to take that in context. It's like, would I rather face 1 Imperial Soldado or 2 Imperial British musketeers? Triple carded is that's kind of the equivalent of it. Yeah, Chinaco's gonna be very good versus the Mexicans. Bonuses versus Strelets. Attack from range, so they kind of avoid the musketeer hand attack, unless Bauss is microing very, very well. Multipliers versus hand cavalry like the Cossacks. It's one of those matchups you can genuinely justify going pure Chinarcos into Russia and have a decent chance of winning. I think the pikes will be very crucial for the siege. There's a bit of the snaring potential and just being annoying. I'm very curious to see how Mitoe wants to go about this, because this is not something we often see. Is Mitoe play in Age of Empires 3 is flat out. We don't often see him play that. So let's enjoy what he's got to bring for us today. Got 400 wood stocked up here. Does have double factory age 4. Yeah, look at this deck. It's very standard. This is the. I'm going to go age 2. I might go age 3, but I'm certainly not going to go Revolt or an FI behind this. Open up the game with 5 skirmishers, dropping down defensive barracks, expecting Bauss to put under pressure. Change it into 5 vills. Yep, change it into 5 vills. It does have the XP and line of sight card, so to send a shipment which is 500 XP, you can kind of like refund that shipment back. At the moment, this next shipment behind is going to be, well, 400 XP. So it's essentially spend a shipment to get a shipment, but you get this crucial line of sight on your opponent. It's a very strong card. 3 Chinakos, 700 gold, all that good stuff. Gone for the early Cathedral here. Really expensive actually for the Mexicans, but strong XP and building healing potential. Oh yeah, the hacienda with was it 7 sheep on it? Gathers at 1.27 food per second. It's not actually that high. It's very noticeable when you start training vills for free, but as a trickle here, the food, yeah, it's pretty decent. I think the food is the right answer. I think the base food is really good. The base gold kind of mimics a plantation, so in the early stages, you definitely want to be on the mines instead of and having the hacienda on the food. But it's quite minimal impact because it's just that one building. Pikes do come out. One villager will go down. Yeah, Bauss will pick that up. But these villagers are really angry with their pickaxes, their hoes. I think they're hoes. Yeah, they've got hoes on them, as in hose the tool. The garden. It's like a shovel, but it's not a shovel. It's a hoe. Well, that's what we call them in England, I guess. I don't know. House. Pike's skirm here, and Bauss is just about to waltz in with Strela. Cossack, no real sense of Chinakos anywhere from here from Mitoe. And Bauss is just happy to kite back with the Strela. Let's take a bit of a trade. This, where the hell is this blockhouse being made? Does he... I think Bauss remembers this map from EP when the crossing of the river was much higher. But no, you can cross the river here. I'm surprised the blockhouse is not here, or here, or here. It's quite far away, so yeah, lost a few units more than he would have anticipated, but seeing skirms, seeing pikes, the thing is, the Salty Door is like the Strela in the sense that it's faster than a normal skirm, but has reduced range. The Strelats 30% range resist. They can happily tank Salty Doors all day. Salty Doors also had that kind of range resist of 30%. At the moment, I've got to say, I'm liking Bauss's position. I'm not really enjoying this unit composition here from Mitoe. I just don't really think it hits the mark of what he wants to be doing versus the Russian Civ. Now dropping down that stable behind. But it only takes a couple of facades to really change the state of the game. Let's look at Bauss's point of view. Train Strelats, getting his great coats every game. Every game, stable being thrown down behind, second blockhouse to defend. Yeah, he has walled up. What is this? What is this? He's walling up the coast. He's walling up the coast in case Mitoe drops a dock here. It's really hard to see, isn't it? But you can. Oh, I can't build something for you to show you, but. Oh, that's wall of the century, that is. But this is actually quite a tasty wall. I do give him that. That's some good stuff. I like that. Gibson saying Bauss probably doesn't even know what the Mexican units are, and yeah, that's the thing. Mexican is probably the Civ is the most complex Civ going, in the sense that all the revolution options are very, very complex, but once you kind of sift through the good revolutions from the bad revolutions and just focus on the main Civ, you'll be fine. Okay, here's the 3 +5 Chinako timing here from Mexico. Now this competition is looking really good here from Mitoe. Just a flip of a switch like that. These Chinakos, multipliers versus Strelets versus Cossacks. They're just beasts of units, honestly. It's their synergy here with the pikemen is really, really strong. The Cossacks will go down so quickly. A little bit of micro here from the Salty Doors into the Musketeers, and then the Strelets are near enough free for taking. And I'm worried because Bauss has got another 10 Strelets in queue behind this. He does have one Cossack. The goal's just been on the floor gathering it, but his food levels isn't quite where he wants to be. Yeah, he's moving the villagers onto the hunt now. He's going to have a bit of a rejig, but the push is coming in now. Strelets away from the blockhouse, needs to try and jam them in somewhere where these Lancer Cav can't touch, but the Lancer Cav's coming in, and the blockhouses, they do have multipliers versus these Chinakos, but only 6 Cossacks here might not be enough. The pikemen will get straight into the Cossacks here. I'm seeing +6s everywhere, but oh no, another batch of Strelets. Is it going to be enough? I don't know, still looking pretty decent here for Mexico. Mexican flag of Inspiring has come down behind this. Where are the reinforcements? One Cossack reinforcement, not what you need here from Bauss. And yeah, these Chinakos are probably going to 2-tap these Strelets into oblivion. Pikes in cover mode, just tanking, but here come the double explorers. The game's been called, and that is just Mitoe shoving in Lancer Cav in H2. Russia can't do anything versus it's not just Lancer Cav, it's Lancer and anti-Cav. It's like a Cheyenne and a Nagy together is just a little bit silly. So silly that this unit stood on horse's back. He's that excited. He's like, yeah, giddy up, giddy up. But, yeah, well, that's a quick cleanup, isn't it? Oh, you kind of need a couple musks, but yeah, it needs to... How do you even win this matchup as Russia, it seems like? How do you win the matchup as Russia if the Mexicans have this unit? Even double explorer, you can't even over... It's not even just a double explorer, it's a double American explorer. It's like stronger than a European explorer. Oh well, I digress. Mitoe wins this game, and he wins the series 2-0, and he'll be moving on to the next round. And we say thank you for playing, and goodbye to Bauss for now, and we'll probably see him in the next tournament. I disagree, Gibbs. It's not how good the Cav are, because yes, they have less HP, and when you add in the multipliers to their lower base attack, it's like a slightly better Hussar in places, slightly worse than others. It's the synergy with the other stuff that they have. It's, you know, the problem is with Mexico is, I keep saying to the new civs, it's that they have too many units in the second age. They have no weakness. The Mexicans' strong point is they have no weakness. They have Cav, they have skirms, they have strong musk, they have fast pikes. You can argue these pikes are slightly better than regular pikes. Double explorer, healing potential, everything is like, there's just lots of little small nuances, but it's how it ties together. You can see that Mitoe couldn't really go Cossacks because he had these annoying pikes just getting in, and for their cost, they absolutely melt Cav. They're one of the best anti-Cav per cost units in the game. Strats get 2 banged by the Chinakos, where otherwise they get 3 tapped by Hussar instead. So that's you know, a little difference there. Speedy skirms, 4.25 skirms, especially when you're with a pike Cav combo, but the range isn't really a factor. You can just get in there. High base attack as well, 18 attack in the second age. Okay, yes, these are underneath the Inspiring flag, but more attack than a regular skirmisher, so things come and go. And overall, the combination here was just too much for Russia to even contemplate dealing with. And the game's over. Yeah, I agree. I think the start out here, they were out of position. If they managed to be tucked in between the cliff, the blockhouses, and native posts, they could have been going a little bit longer, but it just felt that there was a unit there for Mitoe to do with every single unit that Bauss had, and it just didn't feel that Bauss had enough defensive. Maybe might have been Bauss didn't have a great build order, might be a bit of idle time walking over to hunts and that. I'm sure we can find more information out if we did Russia versus Mexico over and over again, but yeah, Mitoe not enjoying or not ever doing the fast industrial via the Central America strategy, but just plays it standard and shows how good he is still. And he moves on to the next round. Sweet. Okay, my voice is going after that, actually. I'm only going for an hour and a half. I don't know why my voice is feeling a bit croaky, but I'm itching to play some games, actually, instead of casting now. So I'll probably dump you over to somewhere else. Unless somebody else wants to carry on the casting of some of the round 32 games. Is Lois still playing? Is he not still playing? Oh, has he literally just finished? Might be the case he just finished. Might be. Don't know. Don't know what to do, actually. Yeah, I mean, it went straight heavy there instead of going straight at Musk mix. But with micro, those strong skirms would do so much damage because of that extra attack. I think a Salty Door has 16 attack, so I think it's 4 skirms to kill 1 Musketeer, and that's just not the kind of matchup that Russia really wants at that moment in time. Oh, just live casting versus Opti. Oh, that's good. That's good. Actually, that's good. That's good. That's good stuff. Yeah, sure. I guess I can. I'm going to take a bit of a break first, actually, I think. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Mitoe cast. Is Mitoe even here? Is Mitoe even in this chat? Mitoe is in this chat. Oh, well played, Mitoe. Welcome back to Age of Empires 3 and the smaller community scene. Let's actually have a quick check-in to see what the EGC situation is at the moment. I've just finished the game. It's Leary versus Lenok. Lenok 1-0 up, taking a victory as the Chinese versus the Russians. Unless that's the old score and that's they just finished game 2.
They definitely had these dominant timings that he was playing into.
I tell you what, I really like this Killer Pigeon guy. Really nice.
Game, and I think that's where the
really
experience
decent.
comes through. I mentioned that Lenok, when he first started playing AoE4,
don't rate Nilly at all. Don't rate Lilicor too much. Killer Pigeon is just like it's like a gem in the dirt.
It's been grinding AoE2, AoE4's a more
had a nice little synergy with Fitzbro.
Have the same level of experience in late game AoE4. And that really
he's looking dapper. He's got a pink shirt on. He's got a blue waistcoat. He's got a beige tux, and he's got a nice little green screen behind him. So it's like he's got like a pure black background behind.